This family, to save money, would use the upstairs neighbor's Wi-Fi every day, but today the signal suddenly disappeared. The son kept complaining, saying it must be that old lady upstairs who changed the password. However, the sister, who had just used the neighbor's bathwater, was already used to it and suggested her brother try 000000000 or 888,888, but he had already tried, and it didn't work. The whole family was in a panic because, without the internet, their phones were as good as useless. The mother gave the father a hard kick, telling him to come up with a solution. But the father stayed calm, suggesting the son just raise the phone higher. Then he started eating moldy bread and even flicked away the cockroach trying to steal his food. Sure enough, the son tried holding up his phone, checking every corner of the house, and finally found a Wi-Fi signal at the far end of the bathroom. He was overjoyed and immediately called his sister over. The brother and sister then started scrolling on their phones beside the toilet, which was higher than the dining table. The family of 4 was living in a cramped basement, barely surviving on a few dollars a day by folding cardboard boxes. But fate finally gave them a chance. The brother's high school classmate introduced him to a job as a tutor for a rich family. If he got the job, they could finally have enough to eat. But the brother had failed to get into college after 5 years of trying and was sure to be exposed. To their surprise, the sister used his solid skills. They forged a diploma from a top university for the brother. To survive, they had no choice but to resort to desperate measures. With the fake diploma, the brother smoothly entered the rich family's home. However, the lady of the house said he must sit in on the first class. The brother wasn't flustered and immediately agreed, as he already had a plan. He grabbed the wrist of the rich family's daughter who was doing her homework and said that the key to success in the college entrance exam was confidence and mindset. Seeing her heartbeat quicken, he said she had already lost her confidence from the start. This exam prep was something he excelled at. After all, he had repeated the college entrance exam 5 times. After hearing this, the lady of the house immediately handed over the money, even slipping him an extra 200 yuan, saying this was the kind of teacher she had dreamed of. Later, the brother learned the rich family also needed an art teacher. Although the brother hadn't even graduated from middle school, he thought of his sister, who was highly skilled in Photoshop. So, he lied, saying he had a classmate who had graduated from an overseas university, excelled in art, and could help develop the child's inner potential. The lady of the house was immediately interested and arranged a meeting. To their surprise, the sister was extremely clever. Not only did she refuse the lady's request to sit in on the first class, but she also left her anxiously waiting in the living room. After just a short while, the sister had already turned the young son into a polite and obedient child. But that was just the appetizer. The sister claimed that based on what the boy said, she could tell he had a childhood trauma. As soon as she said this, the lady burst into tears, as her son had indeed encountered something disturbing when he was younger. Using psychological jargon she had prepared beforehand, the sister completely won over the lady of the house. As a result, she instantly earned a salary 10 times higher than the brother's. At that moment, the husband unexpectedly returned home. The sister didn't dare approach him, fearing her tricks would be exposed. However, he merely greeted her politely, then left, instructing the driver to take her home. The sister, sitting in the luxury car, was amazed at how easy it was to deceive rich people. So sitting in the luxury car, the sister came up with an idea. The sister took off her clothes and secretly stuffed them in the back of the car. Sure enough, the wealthy man soon discovered that the driver had been sneaking food and immediately fired him. The sister took advantage of the situation and managed to get their father hired at the wealthy household. Now, only their mother was left without a job. They set their sights on the old housekeeper, but this wouldn't be easy since he had worked for the wealthy family for many years, cooked excellent meals, and was highly favored by the husband. To get rid of him, they needed to take drastic action. In order to get their elementary school-educated mother a job with a monthly salary of 200,000, the daughter bought a random peach from a street vendor. The son carefully shaved off the peach fuzz, collected it all into a pen cap, and while passing by the housekeeper, he discreetly released the peach pile without him noticing. It turned out that the housekeeper was allergic to peach pile, and he immediately started coughing uncontrollably and had to go to the hospital. However, all he wanted was some allergy medication. But the father, acting like nothing was wrong, took a photo of him at the hospital and casually showed it to the lady of the house, claiming that he overheard the housekeeper had contracted tuberculosis. He warned her that if the children got infected, the consequences would be unimaginable. The lady was terrified, not realizing that the father had rehearsed this story dozens of times at home. To make the lady completely believe him, the father sent a message to his daughter, who was working as a tutor, and so she secretly took out the peach pile and discreetly sprinkled it on the housekeeper. Just as the father and the lady of the house entered, the housekeeper's coughing fit started again. While everyone was distracted, the father rushed to the trash can, took out the discarded tissues the housekeeper had thrown away, and squeezed the chili sauce he had prepared in advance onto them. He then intentionally showed them to the lady of the house, who was so terrified that she fainted on the spot. Without hesitation, she dismissed the housekeeper. Just like that, the mother smoothly entered the mansion and became the new housekeeper. Finally, the poor family of four all had jobs, but they got carried away with their success. When the wealthy family went camping, they took over the mansion completely, becoming its temporary masters of the mansion and experienced for the first time the joy of being wealthy. Just as they were celebrating with drinks, confident that everything had gone flawlessly, the dismissed housekeeper suddenly knocked on the door. She said she had left in such a hurry that she forgot something and wanted to come back to retrieve it. Although they were reluctant, the mother, feeling guilty, opened the door, a decision she would regret for the rest of her life. As soon as the housekeeper entered, she navigated the place effortlessly. After waiting outside for a long time and not seeing her come back, the mother hurriedly went to find her, only to discover there was a secret door in the basement. She twisted and turned through the passageways for who knows how long, until she finally reached the darkest corner, where she found the housekeeper and her husband. The man had racked up gambling debts and had been hiding there for 4 years. The housekeeper begged the mother to keep sheltering them, offering to pay her every month, but the mother refused, insisting on calling the police. However, the children, who had been eavesdropping nearby, suddenly slipped and fell out of their hiding spot as she was about to leave. She saw the English teacher, the art teacher, and the driver all appear in the same place. The housekeeper realized something was wrong and quickly pulled out his phone to start recording, fully exposing the family's secret. Now that he had this leverage, the housekeeper immediately turned against them, threatening to send the recording to the lady of the house. The situation quickly reversed. The housekeeper and his wife moved from the dark basement to the living room, relaxing and enjoying a massage. Meanwhile, the poor family was forced to raise their hands and kneel, singing in submission. But they weren't ones to be easily bullied. Seizing the moment when the housekeeper and his wife were lost in their triumph, the mother made the first move, rushing at them, and soon both families were locked in a chaotic brawl. During the fight, the brother took the chance to delete the video from the housekeeper's phone. Just then, the phone suddenly rang. The lady of the house called to inform them that, due to heavy rain, the filming had been canceled, and she would be back at the mansion in 10 minutes. She instructed the mother to quickly prepare some fried sauce noodles. After hanging up the phone, the family remained completely calm. They immediately divided up tasks. The sister was in charge of cleaning the living room, while the father and brother carried the housekeeper and his wife back to the basement, and the mother skillfully started preparing fried sauce noodles. As soon as the wealthy family opened the door, everything was back to normal, and the poor family disappeared like cockroaches hiding in the darkness, leaving no trace. The three of them were hiding under the wealthy family's coffee table, holding their breath. But suddenly, the wealthy couple on the sofa noticed a familiar smell. The husband said he often smelled it in the car. It was a cross between a moldy odor and something like a sewer, exactly the smell of the driver. Under the coffee table, the father kept sniffing his own clothes, but he couldn't detect anything. However, the mockery from the rich had already planted a devilish seed deep in the man's heart. Fortunately, the couple didn't notice anything unusual and fell asleep. Only then did the three of them sneak out of the mansion in the pouring rain, completely drenched. But the sister broke down in tears, fearing that tomorrow, the housekeeper and his wife hiding in the basement would expose them and ruin everything. The girl sat alone on the toilet, calmly facing the dirty water that was flooding out. She lifted her feet, wanting to stay there for a while longer because it was the only clean place in the house. Just from a heavy rain, their home had become a disaster zone, with water reaching up to her chest and the danger of electrical leaks looming. In contrast, at the wealthy home where she worked as an art tutor, even a small tent was completely waterproof, and the rain actually helped the rich family sleep better. They say not to despise poverty, but the girl regretted being born into a poor family. She was placed in a temporary shelter, surrounded by countless other poor people lying on the floor, just like her. The next day, after the rain cleared, the girl unexpectedly received a call from the wealthy lady of the house, inviting her to attend her son's birthday party. Looking at the mess around her, the girl didn't really want to go, but when she heard there would be extra pay, she gave in. However, all her clothes at home were soaked, so she had to rummage through the chaotic relief shelter and finally found an old, ugly dress to wear. Meanwhile, her brother and father also received messages from the lady asking them to come and help, since the entire family had been working at the mansion under false identities. Little did they know this birthday party would turn into a disaster for them. As the girl was following the hostess's instructions and about to hand the birthday cake to the birthday boy, a man suddenly rushed out and stabbed her with a knife, to seek revenge on the rest of the family. After stabbing the girl, he went after their mother. Fortunately, she reacted quickly and used a barbecue skewer to strike the man, finally subduing him. But the wealthy lady, in her panic to escape, recklessly tried to grab the man's car keys. Just then, a familiar smell hit her, and she instinctively pinched her nose and made a face of disgust. A face the driver, the girl's father, had seen many times before. Every time the wealthy lady had smelled him, she made the same expression of disgust. The girl's father charged toward the wealthy lady, and by the time she finally calmed down, it was already too late to undo anything. The father fled and was never seen again. A month later, her brother and mother were both sentenced to prison, while the girl herself was gone from the world forever. However, the police never managed to find the father. Only the brother, whose head was injured, kept this secret hidden. After being released from prison, he once again went to the vicinity of the mansion and solved the Morse code signals from the lights. It was a message from his father, who was still hiding in the wealthy family's basement, having become a parasite. The brother was determined to go to college, make a fortune, and one day buy the mansion so that his father could finally see the light of day again. But all of this was just a fantasy. No matter how hard he tried, even if he worked his whole life, he could never afford the mansion, which was worth $30 million. They say poverty is a disease. If the girl hadn't been greedy for that bit of overtime pay, maybe she'd still be alive today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe a heart to help our channel out.